JT Shaver here with New Layer, and in this video I'll show you 8 new RGB tube lights to help you decide which ones might be worth buying and which ones you might want to avoid. In part 1 I covered 8 other RGB tube lights which are still viable options versus some of these, so make sure you check out that one after this. My favorite part of this batch of lights is how well some of the lesser known brands perform, so watch closely because the obvious choice for tube lights isn't so obvious anymore. I can't cover absolutely everything in one video, but I will cover the notable pros and cons of each light. That way you can follow up more closely with the links in the description. The first light is the Soonwell MT1, which is one of the most surprisingly high quality lights that I've ever tested. They feel very heavy duty, but still lightweight. Part of that is because they're built IP68 certified to be dustproof and waterproof up to 16 feet. A lot of waterproof lights suffer from poor controls with only 1 or 2 buttons, but these lights have more robust controls that make controlling these lights even underwater very easy. They have the usual CCT and color modes, and you can set 4 CCT presets for easy recall. If you use the mobile app, you get gel mode and sample mode where you can match the color of these lights to any photo. They not only have green magenta tint control, but one of the smoothest transitions between brightness and colors that I've ever seen. The carrying cases for these lights are compact and do a good job protecting the lights, and they come with 2 accessories in particular I want to share. The first is just a standard mini tripod, which makes setting these up on a tabletop or a desk really easy. The other one is a threaded adapter so you can connect multiple of these lights together for a bigger light. Each light still retains its individual controls, or you can control all of them at once like a single unit from the mobile app. These lights retail for $129 and they cover pretty much all the bases for me, so I find that price to be more than fair. Next is the Prism 60 from SGC Lights, which you may have heard was a partnership between Aperture and Quasar Science, but that's not really the case. Aperture has confirmed that SGC simply bought a single part from them to enable Sidus link control for these lights, but that's about as far as it goes. They're solid lights overall, also featuring a CCT preset mode and green magenta tint control. Apart from the expected, there's 2 main selling points for these lights in particular. One is what I already mentioned in that they support the Aperture Sidus Link mobile app for remote control. The second thing is that they have user replaceable batteries, so you never have to worry about running out of battery power as long as you have backups on hand. If you already have an all Aperture lighting setup, these are the only tube lights out there that I know of that support the Sidus Link mobile app and let you control everything all at once. One last detail is that the power cable is a locking barrel type, so it just tightens on and you don't have to worry about it getting accidentally pulled out. Next are the TL30 and TL60 from Godox, which I get asked about almost every single day. These are a basic but solid addition to the overall Godox lineup, and apart from the size, there are some significant differences. The TL30 does have green magenta tint control while the TL60 does not, which is kind of weird and just doesn't really make sense to me. The TL30 also has built-in magnets while the TL60 does not. The one thing that the TL60 does have is a Lee and Roscoe gel filter mode built directly into the light. Both lights can be controlled with the Godox Light mobile app, but the TL60 also supports the RCA9 remote as well as DMX control. The TL30 charges via USB-C while the TL60 requires an entire power adapter, so the TL30 is a much more compact package overall. I gotta say that I really like the zipper case that comes with the TL60, but I hate the case that comes with the TL30. It's just a slip-in pouch, but the material that it's made of is kind of sticky with the light, and it makes it really difficult to get the light back into the pouch, especially with any of the small accessories. The TL30 is $89, while the TL60 is $229. Fourth up is the SuteFoto TW6. This is a really simple light with a slightly lesser build quality, and it uses a single wheel button combo for all the controls. It's got CCT, HSI, and RGB modes, along with some dubiously useful special effects. This light does not have tint control, which is not surprising for a super budget light like this. There's not much to this light, but it is magnetic and comes with a tabletop tripod, a lanyard, and some other accessories. One thing that I like, which may seem like a small deal, is that the carrying pouch is 2 separate slots. So the light goes in one side and the accessories go in the other, but they're still connected as a single carrying pouch. That's something annoying about some of these other small tube lights, is that they have a carrying pouch, but it's impossible to get the light and all the accessories into it at the same time. This light is only $59, so if you need something basic, it's definitely worth considering. Next is the Iwata Master S, which is really similar to the Master R, which I covered in the first video and really love. It doesn't have built-in barn doors or the tripod quick release shaped ends like the Master R, but apart from that, there's really not much to say, but in a good way. The biggest downside to these lights is that the carrying case is just a slip-in pouch, which, if you can't tell, is not my favorite. They've got great build quality, they're magnetic, and they have green magenta tint control. One detail I like about these lights is that the smoothness of the menu and the transitions between brightness and color on the light is second to none. The special effects on these lights have really clear names with multiple presets, so they are more useful than some other lights. These lights also support mobile app control, so they're a really solid choice at just $119. Coming in at number 6 is the FalconEyes IRISA series. The first thing that stood out to me about the IRISA 2 that I have is just how girthy it is. It's basically double the diameter of any of these other lights. This thing is 25 watts and puts out more light than any other options in this video. This light can't be charged with USB, so you have to use the included AC adapter to power or charge this light if you're not using battery power. Apart from the usual modes, it has Lee and Roscoe gel filter modes as well as picture coloring mode. Picture coloring mode just lets you match the color of the light to any photo that you've taken. Yes, that also means you have full control over these lights with the mobile app, and they also support DMX control. The battery in this light will last around 2 hours at full power, which is really great, and it's also swappable so you can have extras on hand for longer run times. Even though it's big, it does still have magnets built in, and because it's so big, it makes it easy to stand up vertically on a desk or tabletop without tipping. Lastly, the battery in this light is 14.8 volts, and FalconEyes did something really smart with the charger. The charger has a barrel and a D-tap connector on it, so you can use it to charge not only this light, but V-mount or gold mount batteries as well. The IRISA 2 is $299, which is a hefty price, but you do get a hefty light in return. Number 7 is the Lumin8 Spectrum, which is really similar to the Luxceo P7 RGB in part 1 of this video with a few differences. Its claim to fame is being IP68 waterproof at 10 meters for up to 30 minutes. These use USB-C to charge, and they also have a full-size USB port, so you can use them as a portable power bank to charge phones and other small accessories. Another big bonus for these lights versus the P7 RGB is that these support mobile app control. The app does require registration with an email account, which just don't do that. Without mobile app control, you're limited to white, tungsten, or one of 6 colors, and you also have to control the light with single or double presses using a single button. Within the app, you have full control over the color spectrum, and it's just easier to switch modes, so I highly recommend using the app. The Lumin8 Spectrum lights are around $140, and they're really sturdy, so if you find yourself filming at the lake or the beach, you can use these and just not have to worry about breaking anything. Lastly, these ones come with magnetic and light stand mounts, as well as a cold shoe adapter, so you just have more mounting options than something like the Luxceo P7 RGB. Last but not least, except in size, is the DigitalFoto Luxceo P200. These are basically the same as the Lumin8 Spectrum lights, but in a different form factor. The P200 is IP67 waterproof instead of IP68, which means you can use them up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. These also have a one-button control system or support a nearly identical mobile app. In fact, you can connect these lights directly to the Lumin8 mobile app and control them there. These lights are smaller and use the same faceted design as the Nanlite PavoTube 26C, so they're easier to use on a desk or tabletop. These lights are surprisingly well made and heavy for their size, but the magnets are still strong enough that they'll hold themselves up just fine. They also come with a little remote, but you're better off using the mobile app because the remote that it comes with doesn't give you full control over the lights. For being $40 or $50, these lights can take a beating, so they're a great option if you find yourself throwing your lights around willy-nilly all the time. I did test all of these lights with my Sekonic C800, so if you want to see all the brightness and color accuracy measurements, I'll have a link in the description to my light comparison tool. It uses real-world measurements instead of manufacturer-provided specs. That way you can compare lights from any brand more fairly. Overall, I'm really happy to see some of these lesser-known brands bring high-quality lights to the market because we get better products, lower prices, and just more fun stuff to play with. Before you go, leave a comment and let me know which light you think looks the best and why. Don't forget to watch part 1 of this series if you want to see how these lights stack up to the original batch that I tested, and use the links in the description if you want to do some final comparisons between any lights. That's it for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.